So we got a little bit of Eagles breaking news that just happened as soon as I filmed this video. So I want to talk about this really quick because it could be important. The Eagles have activated tight end Richard Rodgers from the physically unable to perform list. Tight end Tyree Jackson and offensive tackle Brent Toth are the two Eagles left on the list. Now, this is important because the Eagles are in desperate need of a tight end number 2. And as long as he's healthy and as long as he can play, Richard Rodgers will be that guy. And when Richard Rodgers is healthy and he plays, he's perfect. He's fine. I like him. He's just got to stay healthy. But Richard Rodgers is activated off the PUP, and that's a good sign for tomorrow's practice. Now, let's get to this video. I know what Howie Roseman, the little guy, is doing with Jalen Reagor, and it is absolutely beautiful. And Dallas fans, don't think I don't see what you just did signing Anthony Barr, but believe me, we ain't shaking. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and can you see the fear? Can you smell the fear of the Dallas Cowboys? Jerry Jones, at 801 years old, Emperor Palpatine, is worried about the Eagles, and he's having to go out and make signings. Too bad, I think it's the wrong side of the ball. And then, of course, you got Howie Roseman, absolute genius. The little man is working it with Jalen Reagor. Now, we're going to get into it in a second, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel, if you like the content, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and if you've been subscribed for a while, you know the deal. Just double check, double moonwalk check, make sure you're still subscribed. You know how YouTube can do it. Now, before we get started on Howie and Reagor and what I think is going on there, we got to talk about some breaking news in the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys, the big, mighty Dallas Cowboys. Nobody's scared of, the Dallas Cowboys that Mark Holmes is almost crashing planes for, trying to get videos out every 5 minutes. The Dallas Cowboys went out and they made a signing today. Cowboys, Pound Cowboys, are signing former Pound Vikings, not hashtag, linebacker Anthony Barr, sources say. Now, Anthony Barr is a good player. Okay, he's a good player. And will he help the Dallas defense? If he's healthy, if his knees are good, yeah, I think he's going to help them. I don't see how he wouldn't. There was talk that he was going to retire, and there was also talk that he's been in negotiations with the Cowboys for a while. So, yeah, I think this definitely helps the Cowboys defensively. However, the best defense is a good offense. You know what I'm saying? In this league today, you've got to score points. And to me, I think the Cowboys defense is going to be decent. I think Parsons is going to go out and do his thing. The problem that I see with Dallas is offensively. They've lost offensive linemen. They lost multiple wide receivers. They've had multiple wide receiver injuries already. Well, they have had James Washington got injured. You got Gallup coming back from injury. So they're banged up at the wide receiver position now. And you got Zeke Elliott, who doesn't stop eating. He's a fat pig. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's going to be slow as molasses. I like Pollard, but it ain't enough. I don't think the Cowboys' offense is as potent as it was last year. So it's surprising to me that Jerry Jones goes out and gets a defensive player when you need offense. You want to trust all those young wide receivers. You want to trust that Gallup comes back from a torn ACL as 100%. Good luck. Good luck to you, because we know, unless you're Adrian Peterson, you don't come back from a torn ACL that next year. It always takes at least one full year. Saquon Barkley last year, people were killing Saquon Barkley. I said he was going to have an off year before the season started because of the injury. This year, Saquon Barkley is going to be much better because it's a year removed from that injury. That's just the way the injury goes. So, to me, the Anthony Barr signing, yeah, it's a good signing. It helps your defense. It's nice. Little good depth piece if he's healthy. But he ain't going to be scoring touchdowns for you. He ain't the guy that you're throwing to. So to me, I still think the Cowboys have a big problem. And I got to tell you, defensively, their defensive line, even with Parsons, I don't shake. I don't sweat it. I don't sweat him at all because we got a top 3 offensive line in the league. We're going to be fine. We got a quarterback that can maneuver if he needs to. He could run away from Anthony Barr with 1 foot. He's that fast. So I ain't worried about it, all right? Dallas, yeah, good depth signing, I'll say. But where's your receivers? Where's your receivers? That's Dallas's problem offensively. And everybody is going to see, and you're going to see what I mean, when Dallas is struggling offensively. It's going to be beautiful. Going to be beautiful. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is Jalen Reagor. Because what's happening with Jalen Reagor right now is Howie Roseman. It is Howie Roseman. The little guy is hard at work. Now you're saying, well, what do you mean by that 500? What do you mean? Last week you start camp, right? He lines up with the second team. We hear some good things about him. But once the thing happened where he had a bad practice and then somebody tweeted it and then he responded, come back the next day, he has a great practice, right? Oh, it's Jalen Reagor's best practice. Now we have multiple reports telling us how good Jalen Reagor has been at camp and how great Jalen Reagor is, and everything he's doing is such a difference than we've ever seen, and he's ready to compete. It's all bullcrap. Now, I'm not saying he's not ready or he's not playing good, but I'm saying it's being pumped out on purpose, in my opinion, okay? As soon as he had that bad practice, this started getting pumped out. Now, if people would have just said, hey, Reagor had a nice day, responded nicely, that's it, great. He responded, good for him, good to see him bounce back. But no, we're saying Reagor's having the best camp he's ever had. Reagor has been fantastic. Reagor is doing everything Nick Sirianni could ask. They're pumping him up. They're pumping Jalen Reagor up because they're looking to move him. That's what I think. And it's smart. And I think it's genius. And it's masterful. And I got to tell you, I like the little guy for it. This is exactly what he did with Zach Ertz. Now, people are going to say, well, Zach Ertz. No, he didn't do it with Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz was Zach Ertz. He's a great tight end. No, you have to remember. You have to go back to 2019. When Zach Ertz was at his all-time peak to trade, the Eagles waited. And then he had a bad year with injury, wanting a lot of money. If you go back and look at the history, look at the articles, his trade value plummeted. Plummeted because of what he wanted, because of his age, and because of his injury. People were concerned. Teams were concerned. And it wasn't fair. Zach Ertz should have gotten, I think, more than what they got for him. But what the Eagles did in training camp was start building Zach Ertz up. Talk about Zach Ertz every day after practice. Zach Ertz. And I was saying this is what's happening. And then you go into the season, and then you try to trade him when you can, when you get close to the deadline. That's exactly what the Eagles did. The Eagles are doing the same process, maybe on a lesser level with Jalen Reagor. Okay? Don't equate their values the same. It's not the values. It's the process. The process of how do you make Jalen Reagor's trade value more? How do you up it as much as you possibly can? You don't do things like in the past where they just put out all these reports that Deshaun, remember when they wanted to get rid of Deshaun Jackson, they put out all these reports that he's tied to gangs, all this crap, okay? And I blame Chip Dip Kelly for this. And then you destroy this man's trade value so much you cut him and he goes to a rival. Well, the Eagles, I think they don't want to do that again. So what do? If you want to trade a guy, if you want to get value out of it, if you want to get something, you want to get more than what you can get right now, you build him up. You build him up. You put him when the media's out there, you throw passes to him. When he does something good, you blow it way out of proportion. Like Mark Holmes blows the Dallas Cowboys out of proportion, or Michael Anthony wears the fitness, does a nap. You blow it out of proportion. Okay, Michael Anthony wears fitness. I just took a nap and I have 3 times the energy of a human being. Hulk smash that like button. That's what he does, right? That's what he says. It's exaggerated. He had a good practice. He had a good nap. He feels rested. Leave it at that. But if you want to extract the most value you can out of Jalen Reagor, you build him up. That's why we have multiple reports, multiple things written that Jalen Reagor is impressing at camp. The day after he had that really bad camp, and people were down on him. Howie said, no, we can't have that. We got to flip this thing. Jalen Reagor, delete your tweet. Don't get on social media. Don't do it. And then what does he do? He tells all the media guys, oh, Jalen Reagor, man, did you see that catch? Oh, Jalen Reagor having an outstanding camp. Outstanding. We're really happy. Then here come the articles. Here come the comments. That's what they're doing. They're getting ready, and they're preparing for a Jalen Reagor trade. I believe it's going to happen. At some point this season, they're going to trade Reagor. It's going to happen. And if they can't extract any value, we'll see what they do then. Maybe they cut him, maybe they keep him. I don't know. And one other thing I want to talk about. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. But one other thing I want to talk about. For those that want Gardner Minshew, the man that lives down by the river, in a van down by the river. He lives in a van down by the river. He's stinking up camp. The man who lives in a van down by the river is stinking up camp. That's not good. That's not good. You better pray Jalen Hurts goes out and balls out, because Carson Strong, he's got talent. He's young. He ain't ready to be a backup. And from what we're hearing of right now, it ain't Minshew. It ain't Gardner. It's Gardner Stinkshoe. Stinking it up. The man that lives in a van, the guy lives in a van down by the river for real. Crazy. So he better, Hurts is the guy. We live or die with him. That's all I got to say. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. And it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. So the Eagles were off today from practice after one slightly physical practice. I gotta tell you guys, I'm a little worried about the approach. I mean, I'm not saying I'm right. I could be totally wrong, but I feel uneasy about this approach to camp and to preseason. I think you got to hit. I think you got to go out there and practice. I think that Jalen Hurts needs to go out and get reps. I really do. I'm a little concerned about it, And to be honest with you, to be fair to the Eagles, I was concerned about it last year, and they went and they double moonwalked Atlanta's ass. So I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like we gotta get more reps in. We gotta do more. It's just my opinion. Denzel Washington out.